The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Monday, the first day of August. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical Wells, One Communications, and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sancha Durham, and Leanna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sancha, how are you?
Good morning. It's been a long holiday.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's been even longer than a weekend, right? I haven't
Yeah.
seen you in a bit.
Yeah. You haven't, you ladies took off during cup match week because, well, you didn't have as much confidence in your team as you should have. And we're not going to get into that today. I mean, let me just say it.
You're still talking?
Let me just say it. Hold on. Congratulations on your victory.
Bum, bum.
Yeah. Congratulations on your victory.
You guys should have seen his face. I have to get Sherry to send him the pictures
She took pictures.
so that we can, show everyone the vibe that we had going on. You should have seen to the point whereas my son Maddox started calling Jamal grumpy uncle.
Yeah.
Hey, Uncle Grump.
Yeah. My nephew just treats me rough. He treats me rough. Honestly, I was so disappointed cup match. I mean, I don't have a poker face. I can't hide my feelings. I was disappointed. I don't, it's not about failing or losing, Sancha, but it's a way to do things. Like it's I don't know. It's
Gosh,
even when St. George's had the cup all those years, they didn't dominate Somerset. Somerset's dominating them. It's like, Kenny Thompson, football coach, former Bermuda national football coach, current North Village head coach, he said something like the lack of competitiveness by St. George's is actually ruining the cup match brand. Like, seriously, give it to St. David's or Baylor's Bay or somebody else if this is what we're going to be doing every year.
Yeah. It was your face said it all, Jamal. Jamal was in a camp and everyone was partying behind him, and Jamal was leaning over the side like.
Yeah. I couldn't even catch a vibe. Like, I was just, I don't know. Like I said, as the shortest person in every class I was in and every team I ever played for, I always had that scrappy do about me. Like, yo, if we're going to lose, we're going to go down fighting. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see that. I saw Somerset players on the field, like they were going to go down fighting and swinging. I didn't see that from St. George's. And I don't know. I just can't get down with that. So hopefully the cup match trials for next year, as many people were saying over the weekend, started for St. George's on Saturday, drawing Somerset's Medicaid. It's anyway, that's not what we're here to discuss. But greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we reflect on the holiday weekend before focusing on the purpose and or impact of an influencer. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk about the BTA or Bermuda Tourism Authority, however you refer to them, and their influences of a cup match. The daily play is a little Bermuda trivia, and folks, the game's a hit. I mean,
I don't have my cards yet.
Sancha doesn't have her
I'm
card.
not gonna lie. I don't have my cards. I don't have my mug. I'm working on that today.
Yeah, Sancha's behind a lot of the audience. She's behind a lot of you all. So Let's get her in check, folks. Let's get her in check. But let's get to the conversation. So, holiday weekend. Actually, there's a lot of comments. People out here talking about me. Good morning, Karen Simmons. She says, "TDH, happy August 1st, and congratulations to Somerset Cricket Club on their win for Cot Match, Sancha, and Sherry. You know, the good sports out there. Good sports. You all don't have to brag. I mean, it's over. It's over. You won it. It's last week's news now, right?
No, not really, because we haven't discussed it.
Yeah, I was mad. I was mad. And hey, look, he was so mad he didn't come back the second day. We went together first day. David Michael R. Wilson, why do you St. George's fans always say it's not about winning or losing whenever they lose?
Michael, because that's what they can say.
I don't think it's a matter, because all those years that Somerset, St. George's had the trophy and Somerset couldn't beat it. Don't forget what was said by everyone back then, regardless of who you support. We need a third day. So I don't think it's necessarily about it's not about winning or losing. Yeah, it's about winning or losing to me. I'm not interested in no damn friendly rivalry. I don't care the history of you saying it was friendly. No, this is bragging rights. And you know I love to talk my crap. So St. George's, I'm mad at you for not giving me a platform to stand on and talk my crap. Yeah. Jim Brown on that mic talking to me. Philip Trott says, Sancha ain't stopped grinning yet and makes me talk. Man, you should have seen her and Sherry. I told them grow up. You should have seen them. You should have seen them. I told them to grow up.
A little counterpart on the side.
Yeah, teaching the little Maddox all the bad stuff, you know. It's all good. It's all good. But it's good fun. But we had a good weekend, Sancha. Well, I think most of us did. Unfortunately, there was a tragedy, which I think Leanna will touch on during her news break. But what can we learn from this holiday weekend? I mean, there's so many different aspects of Cot Match. And, you know, Sancha, I want to let you lead this, because you mentioned yesterday the business aspect. There was a so-called halftime show. There's no halftime in cricket, so let's say lunch break show, that a lot of people have opinions about. I don't know. What can we learn? What are your biggest takeaways from the holiday weekend? It's not just about the cricket, but the overall, the festivities and everything. What are some takeaways? That's your question, discussion question this morning. What can we learn from the holiday weekend?
So for me, of course, I was excited to have Cot Match back as we know it. Went to Cot Match last year. It was a lot less capacity, but it was still fun. This year, everybody was out, everyone was ready. I was actually really surprised. I normally take Maddox for first ball, just because it's not as many people, and I want him to get to understand exactly what Cot Match is about, and, you know, have some sort of experience and heritage and all of that. But first ball this year, everybody was ready. Like, people were there from 8:00 in the morning. So when I got there on the first day, I started looking around, and I'm thinking to myself, and I'm like, you know, we're here. It's another year. We're back at it. Things are back as we know it. But the business of Cot Match, you know, I hate to always kind of make things about business, but when you look at it on a bigger scale, that whole event, we go, we party, we have fun. And Jamal, as you say, Bermuda government always knows how to drink and party. What did we as a people actually gain from it from a business standpoint? Like, I was even looking, I'm like, all of this scaffolding around this place, I'm sure it's rented, and somebody could correct me if I'm wrong. I was thinking, like, at what point is St. George's and Somerset maybe going to go half and half, buy this so that they can actually save some money? Because I'm sure that costs a lot of money. Then I was thinking, I'm like, as far as like who really wins, Mr. Bacardi and Mr. Gosling's is winning. I'm sorry.
No, but I want to touch on what you just said. You know, we had the president of both clubs on last week, and not last week, week before, and the president of Somerset actually said that the cost of the scaffolding and, you know, the materials, the lumber, actually did go up, and they didn't put that cost onto the you know, the public, right? However, Sancha makes a great point. You know what you need every year. Why not just purchase it? No, it could be said that, you know, storage is an issue, right? Buy a storage instead of paying for something every year. It probably would cost less. Now, I'm of the mindset that both clubs can invest, or, you know, find a way or develop a plan strategy to actually build some kind of suites that can last year round. And I already stated this years ago, you know, have events at these, like, I haven't worked at a professional sports stadium, concerts and different things throughout the year that generates the income that you need. There are always things people are looking for things to do, but I don't disagree. Now, to your last point about who benefits, look, again, I no judgment at all, right? And I say this with I loved one thing I did love, although wasn't impressed. I loved the cricket, right? And I wasn't impressed with it. So I was very unhappy. But I loved, and what made me smile, I loved to see people having fun. I loved to see people dancing and enjoying themselves. But I'm going to say this, some may not like it, and you may think I'm judging you. But if anything, I took away from Cop Match, to Sancho's last point, we have allowed alcohol consumption to dictate our culture. Yep. We have allowed alcohol to dictate our culture. Mm-hmm. Think about that.
Yeah. I would even go out on a limb and I would challenge the government to not sponsor these like big alcohol sort of driven events. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Can we, I don't know. I look at our culture, I look at what's going on. We're losing lives, where it's just, how do we change the narrative and still have a good time?
Yeah. And I want to, I can't be lost in saying, and just, look at the players as well. Like Kenny Thompson, I keep using Kenny Thompson because he's been on social media this weekend, and he's shared how, he was training with Dion Stubble, and everyone's laughing at the meme that was, it turned into a meme, with Mr. Photogenic and Dion Stubble pretty much bulldozing through George O'Brien. But if you look at both teams, right, one team looked like athletes, the other team looked like people who came to play a game. And that's another thing that stood out. But what can we learn from the holiday weekend? Let's go through some of the comments. Teresa Marie says, morning, I was gutted about St. George's. Agree, lack of training, poor organization, etc., is evident. They let fans down with a bang. Philip Trott says, the online ticket experience was easy to use. Shout out to G-Pass. Yes, I had a great experience with that. Paulie Rich says, absolutely Sencha. Don Levrock, Baby Rocco Don Levrock says, I love Jamel's first day outfit. Well, let me be clear, folks. Let me be clear.
Jamel changed.
I do change of clothes because I do tend to put on neutral colors when my team's not doing well. So it was not Somerset colors. There were neutral colors. So
you had on red and blue.
There was red and blue in the shirt.
Jamal, clearly anybody coming to Somerset Cricket Club during Cop Match wearing red and blue is for Somerset. You basically left your team and was like, I can't deal with it. I'm going to the other side. But we welcomed you. Open arms.
That's why you don't have a mug.
Jamal, watch me tomorrow, okay?
Kathy Rogers says, the halftime show, no. It definitely broke the vibe of Cup Match experience of loud music playing and people walking around, etc. My personal opinion. That wasn't the time. Perhaps have it before the game starts while setting up. Appreciate trying something different. But, well, let's talk about that. Credit to the artists. Look, Fire Wayne, Olivia, Original, Live Wires. I mean, these are great local Bermudians who are producing some fantastic, entertainment. But I think they were let down by the production. I think they were let down by the atmosphere. I'm not quite sure if you're going to do this was well thought through, and it did take away from the atmosphere. Like, you had people over the other side of the field that couldn't hear a damn thing, right? And yeah, I just don't see what the benefit of it was. And I felt for those because they are some fantastic Bermudian artists.
So let me say, obviously, my dad and I, biggest producers.
That's your space. Talk to us. That's your space.
We actually sat down and had a conversation about it, and all around. And the first question he said, he was like, Sanch, who do you think's producing this? And the first thing you look at is the production. I think that everybody thinks it's so easy to just go up on a stage and just sing. And this is why the biggest artist in the world, any artist, once you make it and you have a manager, the first thing you have is a writer. This is my requirements. This is what, and another thing, I just felt like Somerset Cricket Club needed someone to produce it. If that show was produced correctly, then it could have been something that could have grown into something over the years. But I wasn't on the field to see it. At that both days I had left, and Madison and I was walking home, and the first thing I heard, it was like Livewire saying, "Everybody turn off the music." That's not his job to do.
Correct.
Even like promoting it in advance. This year at Cop Match, we're gonna have a halftime show. I never, and maybe it was put out there. I never saw it.
It was
Never
put
saw
out apparently to people who purchased plots. And some woman on Twitter and shared it. I honestly thought it was a joke until I saw it. And I remember brother, we were right below HSBC, so he came down and said, "Hey Jamal, tell those guys cut the music, whatever." And we cut it, and we could not hear anything. And again, it took away from the atmosphere.
Jamal, I ended up watching it on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, nobody thought that it needed to be plugged into the same system so that we can actually hear what was going. Like, you're hearing feedback, echo. It wasn't plugged into the same system, so you couldn't even hear them. And you're right. Like, I don't think anybody thought of the acoustics. It wasn't produced well. It didn't come across well. And it's something that possibly could take off, but it wasn't produced well.
I agree. And I think, again, what can we learn? We can learn that if we're going to do something like that, we need to make sure that, was there a check the day before? Like when there's concerts and stuff, they do all of this pre-stuff. So that's some advice from the general public to the club or producers. I know people were saying the BTA was behind it because it was right in front of the BTA area. If that's the case, well, I'm not. We'll talk about the BTA and influences a bit later. Let's leave them alone right now. Traveling Trotty says, "Why does government need to give money every year to Cup Match? What are the sponsors?" No. Let's be clear. The government doesn't give anything. They take money from taxpayers and give it. That's clear. But I agree. Why is government giving these clubs money? Look, you're a business person, Sencha. I kind of own a business as well. I expect nothing from government. Anyone who's in business or charity or organization, the government should be the last place you go for revenue. If you need government funding, you need to shut down. So I agree. The government should not be given 1 red cent to these clubs. If anything, create a course to teach these clubs how to generate the revenue they need so that they can get that 25 from others in the community. I love seeing Linda sponsoring the umpires, and there were sponsors for Somerset as well as St. George's as well. That's how you do it. You don't do it by government giving, right? Giving $25,000. No, stop it. Because all it does is it's like the government saying, "Hey, well, we gave the clubs this and that, the other. That's $25,000 worth of votes." No, stay out of business.
Yeah. And I look at all the clubs, and I'm just going to put it out there. I feel like I don't really know. I don't really know of a club that is managed well. I feel like they're all ill managed. And I think that it's because the committee doesn't have a business mindset.
Well, are we sure? Well, and I don't disagree. I mean, there's a track record there, but I just don't know. Are we sure the government, they ask government for money, or does the government give the money? That's what I want clarity on.
It's like, you have your parents that say, "Here's a bit of pocket change." I think it's just kind of expected. Like, okay, government's going to give us money. I think that they need to focus on running the clubs like a business. If I can go back to the bar, if we're saying that's like our biggest generated business in these clubs, I have been to, different parties at different clubs and bars and stuff like that. And every time, I know I need to stop looking with my business eye, but I'm like, the amount of money that this bar is losing, it's like, what is the sense? What is the sense? It's, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there are other ways. Macy O'Dill, 4 years ago, we had a conversation, very public one, and he gave ideas of how these clubs can generate additional revenue without a bar. Dawn Lavrock, she says it was still a violation. Michelle White says no points for a red shirt with red Jamal. We blasted Leanna last week. No, yes, we did. Well, Larry did, and I was trying to stop him. I don't remember blasting you. I just asked the question. I said, Lee, is that pink in your shirt? That's what I remember. I don't
No,
know.
you were at the game in red and blue.
I,
At the game.
I need to look at that shirt again because I thought it was orange. I didn't see red. I thought it was orange.
I'll get pictures, folks.
Wow.
We'll show pictures.
Kathy Rogers says, yes, I agree to that, Jamal. Alcohol plays a huge part in the celebration, not always a positive outcome. It should not be the focus of cup match. Unfortunately, it was orange, Rosalind Famous, not red. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says, I agree with you, Jamal. Both clubs should build purpose-built luxury boxes. I mean, again, I think it would make more sense. Michelle White said, couldn't hear the entertainment on TV either. I felt for the artist too. Go ahead, Sunshine.
Yeah, I feel like you said, all year around.
Mhm.
I mean, you have cricket games there every single year. And I think that's where it lacks. Like, we focus on the bar, we focus on having these parts. They don't make money.
Yeah, let's just go through audience comments. We've got a lot to go through, and then we'll wrap this up. Don Lavrock says, what's crazy is that they were there Saturday and Sunday doing the pre-checks. Interesting. I didn't hear him up there last week. I was there this Saturday, but I was watching the game, the last cup match trial. That told me that Somerset was getting demolished in Georges. Was there any sound check prior? Couldn't hear it on TV either. Well, according to Dawn Leverock just now, she said yes. Janika Roberts says it's not the NFL halftime show, it's cricket. Now, if the BTA can produce NFL halftime show quality, then we would welcome it. Until then, let us just celebrate. So was the BTA behind it? I don't know. Was it? That's crazy.
I have no idea. Yeah.
Maybe Rocco Don Leverock says total of 75K given. Somerset 50K. Yeah, I saw 25K. I guess that was to St. George's. Again, I don't think. I think the business community, if anything, relationships need to be developed, not out of government coffers, especially when a government that's struggling to generate revenue to stay afloat. Edmund Johnson says it's because sport and organizational management is the last thing they think about. Bingo. That's to your point, Sancha. That's to your point about business. Very valid point. Are you able to see, Shanch? Because I'm reading on.
Be quiet, Jamal.
I'm just saying, folks.
For you a few times, so be quiet, everyone. I'll say it again. Jamal is reading because I cannot see. Go ahead.
I love them all, folks. I promote going cup match to any Bermudian guest. I felt apologetic and noted that it is amateur cricket. Now I ask, why should I? It should be our best performance event, period. 120 years. Rick Olson says, typical on how our government operates, nothing new here. Don Leverock actually posted a video of me in the shirt that had orange, not red. So you could check it out, folks. You can check it out. Traveling Trotty says maybe the clubs need to do a membership drive to increase members and identify key skill sets needed. That's a good suggestion. And then we'll round it out with Phil Trott says soundcheck wouldn't have fixed the problem. The speakers were at the end of the grounds. No sports stadium has speakers on one side. That's money. Well, a soundcheck would have helped them realize they needed speakers on the other side, Phil. You know what I'm saying? Well, they shouldn't need a soundcheck for that. I get your point. But I mean, it would have helped them at least, understand that if it's for everyone and you're telling people over the other side, turn off the music, why should they turn off the music if they can't hear what's going on over that side? Yeah. All right, let's bring Leanna in. Folks, we've got to ask you, there's a big conversation going on throughout social media about the impact of social media influences that the Bermuda Tourism Authority supposedly brought in. So we're going to talk about that after the break. I have my personal thing. You all know I can't stand the term influencer. I think it's the biggest bunch of BS ever. I think it's ridiculously stupid how we think people with great following actually influence others to do things. It's stupid. It makes no sense. And I'm going to touch on that after the break. But let's bring Leanna in, see how her cup match weekend was. Leanna Lambert, good morning, sister. How are you?
I'm in mourning today. I'm wearing black.
Oh, you got your black. Mm-hmm.
I got my black on. I did put my red lipstick on this morning. The red is back, unfortunately. This is, I guess, me saying congratulations to Somerset.
Oh, that's how you say the word?
That's how I said it. I just put it on my lips. I didn't have to say it.
Congratulations, yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations, yeah. So I'm in mourning today, but it was a great holiday weekend. I got a chance to get up to the field on the Thursday at like the 11th hour, and I waved over to Mr. Hartman here, and who looked very upset with our team at the time. He didn't even want to come over and take a picture with me because he was like just so distraught. And I couldn't blame him.
Let me just say this, because like Kenny attempts and giving me some heat. And I said, yeah, obviously all of my sports teams doing this to me. It may be a sign for me to just like relieve myself of sport and focus on like maybe music or something else. Like I just, you honestly, you all know me. I get vested into stuff. Like I'm into it. And I'm just like, I honestly couldn't believe what I was seeing. I couldn't believe
distraught,
it.
people.
I
always thought that I was Jamal's favorite, and he showed me on the holiday weekend that the game trumps.
I did. No, honestly, I did forget to go over there. Shara's like, "Oh, Leanna," and I was like, "Okay, cool." But I was literally like,
and I quote, he said, later.
Yeah, I was sitting in my chair. Everybody's dancing back on me. I'm like this in the
like
game.
literally like that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, Val, no, I feel your sentiments. I am over here. I feel the energy. So
you're still my favorite, Leah. I'm sorry. It happens.
You're forgiven.
Sancho, you're still my favorite too. But see, Sancho and Sherry were teasing me. They were gloating and bragging and all that stuff.
All in your face.
And they already knew I was feeling a little glum, right?
Yeah, they do. Don't worry, Mal. I feel your sentiments over here. It was heart-wrenching for St. George's fan this year, yet again. So in mourning, I shall stay until I feel better.
Thank you. And I know Sancho and Sherry will apologize for the gloating one day.
They will.
I'm not.
Okay, well, Lee, over to you. It's just nuts.
Thanks, Jamal and Sancha. Good morning, happy Monday, and happy first day of August, what I'm deeming as the greatest month of all time. We are so glad that all of you are tuned in with us today. I hope you all are having a great start to this day and are ready for the upcoming week. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Well, a great cup match time was had by most, if not all, as our most beloved holiday weekend returned to normalcy this year. Thousands of people flocked to the Somerset Cricket Club, decked in team colors, to witness the two-day annual cricket match, which saw Somerset victorious against St. George's, lifting the cup for yet another year. We won't get into that, though. Many other events took place over the weekend, with the island welcoming Jamaican sensations Ding Dong and Shansia. Snorkel Park saw the official cup match after party with cup match fever, and the weekend ending with the island's biggest non-mariners wrapped up in Mangrove Bay. On Sunday, it's safe to say all had a great time celebrating this Emancipation and Merry Prince holiday. Now, the weekend wasn't totally pure celebration, as tragedy struck our island as we sadly recorded another road fatality, making it the 8th road fatality of this year. 22-year-old Troni Asia Robinson Burgess was named over the weekend as the road victim who was involved in a serious road traffic collision on South Road in Southampton, just west of Horseshoe Road. Now, it appears that Miss Robinson Burgess, along with her 21-year-old female pillion passenger, were traveling in a westerly direction, and a 27-year-old man was traveling in the opposite direction when their motorcycles were involved in a collision. Now, the 27-year-old man has been arrested for suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving. Sadly, Ms. Robinson Burgess was pronounced dead at the scene by an attending physician. At last check, the 21-year-old woman remained in ICU, being treated for what has been described as serious injuries. Now, anyone who may have witnessed this collision is encouraged to contact PC Bianca Glassford from the Roads Policing Unit on 247-1788. And it was another historic moment for the island's golden girl, the Olympic champion, Flora Duffy, as she cruised to a second consecutive gold medal win following her participation in the women's individual triathlon at the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, in England, over the weekend. Now, multiple other Bermudian athletes had strong performances at the Commonwealth Games, and we want to send a huge congratulations to all of our athletes representing the island in true fashion. The games run until August 8th, so be sure to tune in at some point to cheer on our team. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 87 and a low near 79 degrees. Bright skies begin this August day, which starts very settled. We can expect an early shower or two, but temperatures will continue to be slightly above average with a light to moderate westerly breeze as high pressure remains dominant in our area for the start of the week. Now, by midweek, winds become southeasterly as a trough moves in with increased cloud cover. That's all for our daily hour news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now let's head back to Jamal and Sancha in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
Thanks so much for that, Lee. Yeah, I think when we go into a holiday weekend full of excitement and enjoyment, we always say make it, a safe one, and we mean it genuinely. Like it's so crazy that we come out of these holiday weekends and with such, sadness. So definitely on behalf of everyone, as Leanna stated, condolences to the family and friends of the individual, the victim. And folks, I once worked at the airport in Bermuda, and if you drove the things that bring the bags out, right? And if let's say you struck a plane, there were no questions, you were fired, right? And the CEO at the time said that, accidents don't just happen, they're caused. And I think we have to understand that as we go out and we operate vehicles, regardless whether we're under influence or not, that for every action, everything we do, it's not something that just happens. There's something that causes these things to happen. And so I just, hope that instead of saying condolences, we can, encourage one another a bit more to be a bit more defensive. I haven't even spoken about what I witnessed on the roads in Bermuda, and you all could call me grandpa or whatnot because I don't really overtake or nothing. But it's just crazy because me, I told you before, I'd rather be late. Oh, just I don't know. I'll take the late over, hurting somebody else in the process of trying to get somewhere where it's not a matter of life or death. That job is going to be there if I don't make it because I got in an accident. And if I'm not there to do it, they'll hire someone else. So just want people just be a bit more conscious on the road so that we can say less of condolences to the family and friends. Sancha, you got any days of the year for us?
I do. I actually have quite a few.
Oh, it's a big day. What you got? We want it all.
That I couldn't decide.
Just because it's August, it's the best month. So
somebody must have a birthday coming up.
I know. When is your birthday, Lee?
August 15th. We've got 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yes.
So, Lee, today is National Girlfriend Day.
Oh.
All right, girlfriend.
Yes. You need to have lunch or a date or, shopping, something like that. It's National Girlfriend Day. So on this day, we celebrate our girlfriend friendships, Jamal.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay, girlfriends. Happy Girlfriends Day.
Thank you. We expect something, Jamal.
Yes, right.
Oh.
On another note, it is also World Lung Cancer Day. Lung cancer continues to be one of the most common cancers worldwide, claiming more lives yearly than breast, colon, and prostate cancer combined. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It is estimated that lung cancer accounts for nearly 1 in 5 cancer deaths globally. Wow. In 2012, there were 1.8 million newly diagnosed cases of lung cancer alone.
Yeah, that's what my mom had. My mom wasn't a smoker or anything. So she would be one of the people in this year, 2022, lung cancer. My question, and obviously since she was diagnosed, I'm on the internet often to the point it shows up in my, like, how you have those ads, Google ads that show up. it's always shown me something because I'm always trying to learn more about, people who were not smokers who contracted and get it. So I'm not glad that it's this day, but I'm happy that was something that you brought up, and because it's something, I think it's like how years ago we were told that men could get breast cancer too, and now more people are understanding that just because you don't smoke doesn't mean you can't get lung cancer. And I appreciated the gentleman that Sherry or yourself and Phil had on from the Bermuda Cancer and Health, because he spoke about it's not always hereditary things. Sometimes it's just lifestyle. So thank you for that, Sancha.
And my last,
you have another one? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Specifically for Maddox, it is National Spider-Man Day.
A Spider-Man Day. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Maddox likes Spider-Man.
That's
so sweet.
All right. Well, Lee, thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, but before I go, I have to just tell the audience that I have like the greatest team that I work with ever, and that's the Daily Hour group, because I know we were trying to get together for so many days and I missed out on all the big events with you guys, but I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for the little gift and token of appreciation that you sent me and my little bundle of joy. Sherry caught me at a terrible hour, so we're never going to show that video to anyone.
Show that video, Sherry. You would do it if it's me. Show it.
No, we're not going to show the video to anyone because I look a hot mess. But I just want to say thank you. My little bundle wants to say thank you. My new family wants to say thank you so much for your love and support. We appreciate it. Thank you to
Lee.
People's Pharmacy, our sponsor.
Thank you, Lee. We appreciate you, and I'm glad that Sancha asked your birthday, so I don't have to go on Facebook and remember the date. But no, honestly, we appreciate you. Go ahead.
I have a quick question. When is this bundle making its appearance?
September 12th.
He was close. He tried. September 9th.
Okay.
My birthday is September 12th. So
see, that's what he said.
I did not know you were a Virgo.
Yes, he is.
I love Virgos.
So he's pushing for this Virgo baby right now. He wants a Virgo buddy.
we love you.
Virgos.
Got run, but before we do, happy birthday to my stepmom, Janice Otterbridge. Her birthday is today.
Oh, happy birthday, Niecy.
Yeah. So, she's probably having a party now that I'm no longer there, but wishing her the best day. If you see her, folks, send her some love, show her some love, share some love there for Lee. Thank you so much for being part of this team, and we will see you tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow.
All right, Leanna Lambert, folks, we're going to take a quick break. Do not go anywhere, because when we come back, we're talking about this BTA influencer stuff, and I've got some opinions. Yeah,
I think we differ on our opinions.
We may differ. Well, we will differ highly. I guarantee that.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Hi, I'm Karen, a nurse at the old folks home. These long hours used to kill my feet until my hairdresser told me about a great place to buy a pair of clogs. Medical House. Finally, relief. They also carry uniforms in bright, bold colors, and not to mention the support stocking.
Karen, Miss Soltis bet her bet again.
Oh gosh, these days, I need all the support I can get.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick, tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show, Sancha Durham. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. Folks, if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed on our website so you don't miss a chance for prizes, updates, promotions, and more. Also, if you're on the go and you can't watch, that's okay. Download the BCG Radio app, available for both Android and Apple devices, and you can listen to us every single time we go live. All right, let's get to the focus. So we're talking about the influences. Are influences the way forward for tourism, for Bermuda tourism? And this comes on the back of obviously the BTA, Bermuda Tourism Authority, had invited influencers to Bermuda during Cup Match. First off, I've said this a couple weeks ago and I'll say it again. The BTA is no friend of mine and I'm no friend of the Bermuda Tourism Authority. But Bermuda, you've got it wrong. You can't get angry at the Bermuda Tourism Authority for hiring experts outside of Bermuda to use their platforms to market and promote Bermuda. It's what every destination does. That's what they do. You're saying they could use Bermudian influences, right? First off, I don't know many Bermudians in Bermuda that have the reach, right? But before we get into all of that, I just wanted to go, because you knew I was going to do this. We have to break down what an influencer is, right? So according to my Google search, that's as far as I went with research on this. Influencer marketing is a form of social media marketing involving endorsements and product placement from influencers, people, and organizations who have a purported expert level of knowledge or social influence in their field. So expert level of knowledge or social influence in their field. Now, you know how I always say I don't consider myself an expert in anything? This is why. Because I don't feel, I do what I do. Whether I'm good at it, that depends on what I deem the results. I'm not looking for validation by likes or social media engagement. I measure myself by how much am I able to gain from it to make a living. And I think we're a bit confused when it comes to social media on a local perspective. But saying that the Bermuda Tourism Authority brought down some influences, people weren't happy for various reasons. I personally don't like the term influencer because I think that posting, some of the complaints that came through where they're only posting for 24 hours because it's on their stories, no actual post. Some people saying, okay, what's so different? I'm going to be honest with you. I saw one of the posts showing videos of the Bacchanal run. There are thousands of people posting the similar things from Caravana, crop over, taking place at the same time, right? Then there's the fact that they're coming here and it's not measurable. This is why when it comes from a personal perspective, I enjoy sales. You're either gonna succeed or fail. It's easy to measure whether I'm generating revenue or not. I think marketers in today's age hide behind likes and follows. Likes and follows do not equate to dollars. No. And this is my issue with this ridiculous influencer crap. And instead of Bermuda Tourism Authority, and I think I speak for many, tell me if I'm wrong, instead of focusing on having an actual product and service that's quality and that works, you're focused on paying people to just share pictures or videos of their experience in Bermuda, knowing full well that after Cup Match, there's not much going on. I've said enough, Sancho. I know you're jumping it big. Go ahead. Because I'll go on all day about this.
Okay, Jamal, you made some very valid points. And I think we can meet halfway in the middle on that. I agree with a lot of the points that you made. My thing is, I feel like okay, rewind. I feel like with influencers, you can have an influencer. It can be beneficial, but it has to be done right. A lot of the times we're putting these things into play, they're not done right. I know personally for a fact, these influencers didn't receive an itinerary in a timely manner. Mm-hmm. That's a fact. I think that even when they come on island, What are they experiencing? I think that I feel like every single time we had this conversation, I say the same thing over and over. Who are we targeting? Based on who we're targeting, that's the influencer that we are going to have come to Bermuda. So these people, now there were supposed to be 3 of them. How do they align with our brand? Do their followers support the brand that we're promoting?
I love her.
So,
Go ahead. Sorry.
so now these people come to Bermuda, and I still feel like they're here and they're like, okay, well, what are we doing? What's my experience? Are they clear with what is expected of them? So we're bringing you to Bermuda, and in your contract, you are expected, and this comes on tourism, you are expected to put something on your story, this many posts on your timeline. Like, there should be expectations. And then we're talking about them being paid. We don't even know what they're being paid. At this point, I feel like tourism is doing minimal to try to gain maximum, and it doesn't align. It does not work. So until BTA sits back, figures out what their brand is, who they're targeting, and yes, I feel, and to your point, Jamal, we talked about this the other day. If you're going to have an influencer that's coming to Bermuda and they're going to mention Bermuda, also mention if you put in this code, blah, 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 and book Bermuda, then we can track how many people actually saw that post and said, I came to Bermuda because this person came. I know Lenny on a personal level, right? And Lenny he's great at what he does. And Lenny is one of the influencers that came to Bermuda.
Oh, I was about to ask who the hell Lenny is, but go ahead.
Over the weekend. And if you look at Lenny's connections, if BCA also said, okay, Lenny is coming to Bermuda, how do we network with this person? How do we align ourselves with his brand and what he has going on? And
You know, Sancha, I feel like I had many conversations while in Bermuda. I was in Bermuda for 10 days, mainly on business, had about 2 days of vacation, 2.5, and they were 2 miserable days, as you all know. But as I was meeting with different people, for some reason, many people kept speaking to me about politics and Bermuda tourism. And I'll tell you what, by 28, those of you who know, I had 2 failed businesses. Not failed businesses because they, I lost money, but failed businesses because they didn't make money. And the whole purpose of being in business is not to break even, but it's to generate revenue to make a profit, right? That's how you're able to sustain yourself. And when I realized that, we got out, right? To this day, I'm grateful that my ego didn't allow me to keep going and dig a deeper hole. Why do I share that? We have egotistical people who literally only want status, this fame, this, I don't think they care. They have a conscience enough to care about doing an analysis and ROI and whether it's right or wrong. They care about developing relationships with people who are going to help them. And I know that might sound shallow and sick, but these are the kind of people that we have in charge of what we need, right? We need tourism to work. We need government to work. But we have people in charge who literally, for them, the measurement is how can it increase their following? How can it increase their popularity? We have quite a few comments. Nachika Trot says, an influencer is someone who has the power to affect the purchasing decisions of others. Some do not have high numbers of followers. So how is it measured in tourism dollars for ROI? This is it. Because Alex Masters broke it down. Like, influencer isn't someone who has a high follow. Let me bring it up because I did have it up. He said, influencer status isn't based on following. And I think many people think it is.
Yeah.
I say it all the time. Like, I could care less. And I always ask, can I share her name? But I'll just say it. Tamara Richardson said it to me many moons ago. And she really broke it down. She said she would rather 500 people who align with her brand over 5,000 who don't. This is business, folks. But I think psychologically, we really believe we're distracted by the wrong numbers. We believe the numbers game is about popularity. And popularity doesn't pay bills. But Rick Olson says, before we are critical, we should the cost, but I'm pretty sure if the truth is told, we will be enraged. Interesting. Shana Smith says, sounds like Sancha needs a job at the Tourism Authority. Well, I'd have been knocking on her door last 10 years. But anyway, Tamara Richardson says, every person does a cost-benefit analysis before they spend a dime, even if it's instant. It seems the Bermuda government spends no matter the benefit or sadly cost. And when something doesn't work, they just throw more money. Wow. This goes right back to what I said about my 2 businesses at 28. Literally, this goes right back to that. And I wonder who was one of the people that used to speak to me about business back then. Mia Hartman says the influencer that posted that he was supposed to be in Bermuda but chose to surprise his daughter instead. Well, dang. Was that DJ Nice or something?
So
Nice?
let's talk about that.
Talk about it. Talk to me.
Z-Nice. I was actually excited about Z-Nice coming to Bermuda. I don't know if everybody knows him. Z-Nice is a DJ, and it's so many things that we can actually, as a country, kind of network and get things going. Z-Nice actually does a really good tour right now that I feel like would be great for Bermuda if we ever get back into that space of festivals and stuff, but that's another story. He has a huge following and he's very engaging. If anyone looked at any of the verses that went on, D-Nice is always that DJ that's at the verses. But once again, I do not think these influencers was paid as much as we think. And I think these influencers came to Bermuda more on a this is my friend, comes to Bermuda so that we can get some tags, some likes. And this is not how we should be doing business. If you are inviting someone to Bermuda, it should be on a contract, whether they are influencing or not. And based on the contract that he signed and what he's been given, he shouldn't have been able to back out like that. How was that okay? And it looked horrible on Bermuda for him to be able to say, I was supposed to be in Bermuda, but I decided to surprise my goddaughter instead. It obviously was not worth it to him.
Well, I mean, at least he mentioned Bermuda in his post, right?
It was horrible. It was like, I would rather be over here doing this instead.
Teresa Marie says, spot on, Sancha. Yes, influencers have proven to be very effective, but of course must be used to promote the cause effectively. Sam Cat Play says, at the end of the day, there are people here with connections far-reaching that don't need to be paid to get the word out. It's a waste of money. But again, we don't know if they were paid. Word is it they weren't.
But can we talk about local influencers? Because Jamal, you heard how I felt when we had dinner the other night.
What is a local influencer though in Bermuda?
Listen, I'm still trying to wrap my head around this because I think that we have people in Bermuda that have seen the I think what they perceive as the lifestyle of an influencer overseas. And they are trying to hit the mark here in Bermuda. And I had to tell my niece the other day, she was like, I want to be an influencer. I'm like, they don't get paid. They aren't making money the same way as they are overseas. And for us to say, well, we can use our Bermuda influencers, they don't, let's be honest, they do not have that reach. They don't. It's simple. If we're comparing the followers that our Bermudian influencer, what we're calling a Bermudian influencer has, to, I mean, even Lenny the other day, it may not be big to everybody else, but he had DJ Khaled, which retweeted or reposted his Instagram post or tweet. I'm not sure whether it was Twitter, Instagram. You know, Jamal, I need a course. But it was reposted by DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled's reach is very far. But it's how we do it. The content that we want to put out there. Let's figure out what we're trying to achieve before we go on these ventures.
Well, I think someone broke it down to me last night, and it goes back to the original thing you said today, Sancha, is, okay, so DJ Khaled, let's say he shares it and it goes to 300,000 people. Of that 300,000 people, how many of them are going to be able to afford to buy that ticket to Bermuda? When they get to Bermuda, are they going to be able to afford to eat at the restaurants or purchase groceries? Are they going to be able to afford the accommodations? And then the cabs to get around. I think Bermuda, and people have been saying this for years. I think Bermuda needs to focus on the product and service and just take a step back on marketing.
Yeah.
Take a step back on marketing right now.
Thank you.
And the harsh reality is that I believe that you can eliminate the Bermuda Tourism Authority and the effect on tourism would not change. That's how bad I think Bermuda is at this point. But I want to say this about influencers. Someone said to me, well, you're a local influencer. And I said, no, I hate that term. Well, it doesn't matter whether you hate that term or not. And I said, my goal with everything I do, regardless of the business, is to really find a space where people are in need of something I have to offer. If I can help in that space, if we can improve people's lives, improve our community, find a way to fill a gap, I'm there for it. Nothing I ever do has been done to make money outside of one of the failed businesses I had. And that's one of the reasons it failed, because it was done to make money. If you're doing something just to make money, if you don't have any understanding of concept of business or the business you're running, it's probably doomed to fail. So when we think influencers, we literally, and again, Sanchez says it over and over and over, regardless of the conversation, target. So many things have to align.
Yeah.
So many things have to align. And I'm not quite sure we have the intellectual capacity and decision-making positions to give Bermuda what it needs. Want to go through a few more comments, Sanch?
Sure.
We've got Michelle White says, oh gosh, this sounds like another failure to plan situation. Well, Rick Olson says, Michael Douglas has been a huge asset to Bermuda over the years. It would be interesting to know if he was ever compensated for his private endorsements. But I've already spoken about Michael Douglas. Michael Douglas was up there promoting New York at a time when Bermuda's using him. Why are we using someone who's promoting another destination? I lived in New York City. I saw him coming on every morning promoting businesses and relocating to New York, the state, not the city, the entire state. So even that, did we even allow Michael Douglas to go do that? Why didn't Bermuda work something out? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Tamara Richardson says Bermuda has hundreds of students in boarding schools abroad. They probably have more of an influence on future heads and beds than any of these influencers or marketing efforts. This is who we should be focusing on.
Yeah.
This is who we should be focusing on.
How many times do you have people that bring people to Bermuda? Mm-hmm. I heard it a few times over Cop Match. I came with my friend. I was on a flight coming back because I took Maddox away. Mm-hmm. We were coming back. We came back right before Cop Match. Mm-hmm. And there was a lady, she was telling me, I came to Bermuda 20 years ago with one of my college friends, and I've been coming every year ever since. We
don't get that no more.
Years. So, yeah.
we don't get that no more because Bermuda's no longer a spring break destination, right? Yeah. Let's go through these last three. Rick Olson says, spot on, Jamal, our product needs a complete renovation. Michelle White says, the assumption is that people who follow people are in the same income bracket, but likely they are not. Maybe the hope is to capture the few with the income at what cost. And let's wrap it up with Traveling Trotty says, in many destinations I visit, you have to be certified to work in the tourism industry. I have 15 visitors here this week. Had to cringe. Frontline workers do not know basic Bermuda history and facts. Well, Bermuda trivia is out there. We're going to take a quick break, come back. We're going to wrap it up, give our final thoughts on this topic. Do not go anywhere.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with an easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
All righty. Welcome back. Thanks again to One Communications, People's Pharmacy, Lindo's, and Medical House. It's time for the Daily Play brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Great taste, no alcohol, and Bermuda Trivia, now available for purchase at Somerset Pharmacy, People's Pharmacy, Flying Colors, Caesars Pharmacy, and Robertson's. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Sancha, are you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
It's a difficult one. Folks, it's a difficult one. Help her out. What year did the Bermuda legislature ban all motor vehicles on the island?
And all motor vehicles on island? I didn't even know this happened. I don't know, Jamal. Admittedly, I don't know.
You don't know? I wouldn't have known either. All right, here we go. And this is tourism related. Listen to it. Listen to it. Under a 1908 act, not even the governor could have a car. Why couldn't they have motor vehicles? Because they thought that it would mess with the tranquility of the island.
Okay, 1908.
So 1908, I think, to 1948 or 6. It's one of those. But they thought, so think about today, how we're fighting for things to change and certain things, and government holds back. Like think gaming, think kind of whatever you think might make tourism better, or just Bermuda a better place. But yeah, 1908. Again, folks, Bermuda Trivia. If you don't have Volume 1, Cup Match Edition, again, nothing changed in the Cup Match Edition. I mean, St. George's didn't win the cup, so that question about when the last time they won still in there, that hadn't changed. But make sure you go People's Pharmacy, Caesars Pharmacy, Somerset Pharmacy, Robertson's, and Flying Colors. Get your editions. These games are fun.
They were.
Honestly,
we played them over the holiday, and
we did.
Fun. So I should be able to answer some of these now because we played and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
It can get very heated though, guys, but go out and practice.
Yeah. And I just want to say this, folks, if you go on the Bermuda Trivia website, there's a lot of sources. There's actually a tab for sources. You can see where we get a lot of the information. This information is not for us to keep. It's for us to share. We want to make sure that you're taking away things that you can pass on. So you can go there. You can find the sources. You can learn a lot of this information yourself. And there is a correction. Obviously, when you do have things printed and produced, there will be some. So it's a question we asked a couple weeks on this show. Larry Marshall Jr. got it right. It was the coat with the highest amount of runs. And the answer is Salim Mockendam, as we had printed on our side. But the manufacturer actually printed Gennaro Tucker. So the answer is correct. On our website, you'll go to updates. You'll find different updates. That's where you see the updates. So if you have the Cup Match Edition, there is a question in there. You can go on our website, bermudatrivia.com, and you can see the correct answer. Sancha, let's wrap it up and then get to daily inspiration. What you got for us? What's your final thoughts on Cup Match Holiday, improving it, and the influences?
Final thoughts on Cup Match. I was elated to see everyone out having a great time back out in the community. To even see, I'm from Somerset, so to see Somerset Cricket Club flourish and just be doing well. I would encourage us to focus on the business of it as well, because I feel like as a community, even I can say Black community, a lot of the time the business gets put to the side and we aren't making money off of these ventures and putting money back into the community as we should be able to. With the influencers, Jamal, you put, what is it? Nail on the head?
Nail on the head, yeah.
Nail on the head. You basically, we should stop promoting for a minute and we should focus on creating a product. I don't care what influencer you have coming to Bermuda. We have so many jams here. We have so much going on, but we have not put it together as a package for us to sell. And until we can do that, and if we're having influencers come to Bermuda, let's be clear on what the stipulations are. I think we run at these opportunities, with blind eyes and do not maximize what we can out of it. And it happens every single time. And it seems like tourism puts themselves in this space every time. It's almost like they're starstruck, like, oh, this person's, and we just lose our business line. So
yeah. I echo that. I just want to say, what can we learn from Cop Match? The things I loved about Cop Match, like you said, the vibes, the friends, I just loved. Again, I was miserable, folks. I'm gonna be honest, because I'm into the cricket, right? But I'll tell you what I loved. I was told the night before by one of the Somerset coaches that Kamal Lavrock is bowling some heat, and he didn't disappoint. I was impressed with Jonte. I don't think he was given a fair shot the second inning, but that's the way it goes sometimes. I think Jonte has a great future in the game. I think I was happy, extremely happy for Dion Stavo, especially after seeing the story after the Cup match, that he was putting in the work. I was happy for Treadwell Gibbons. I was happy for him to see him get his first half century. There's a lot of positives of this. I think that in my lifetime, and I've seen many, but I think Taryn Frey and Chris Douglas, some of the best batsmen, opening bets that you'll probably see in Cup match in the history of the game. And I think outside of it, I tested something. I wouldn't say happy Cup match to people. I'd say happy Emancipation Day and happy Mary Prince. And it was interesting who said it back versus happy Cup match. I'll leave that there. As far as the influencers, again, I repeat, I think Bermuda has bigger problems on its hands. And until we're ready to arrest that and focus on fixing them, then we're just literally giving money away over and over and over. It's time to look at the problems from a solution-based perspective and fix them. But we can't allow the people making decisions to continue to do the same thing over and over and over. Sanchi, you've got some daily inspiration for us?
I do. In every community, there is work to be done. In every nation, there are wounds to heal. In every heart, there is the power to do it. It's by Marianne Williamson.
Nice. I like that. Folks, if you appreciated today's conversation and discussion, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Also, share these kind of conversations. A lot of community conversations are not happening these days, and we need more of this. So thank you. Thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sancha Durham. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please make it a safe and great day. We're out, but I just have to show my mug off one more time before we head out. It says Daily Hour, Sancha. Daily Hour. See it. Look.
I'll see you tomorrow, Jamal.